September 20th to 29th, 2021, and we are excited. It is fantastic. It is one of the hottest destinations in Europe for this next year, and we're going to go. We're going to go on a day absolutely just about like this. Temperatures are going to be the same as we've been having in Iowa right now, in the 60s and lows in the high 40s. So it's going to be great weather-wise, and it's going to be perfect. It's going to be fun, and you are not going to believe the deals we've got for you. First off, I want to introduce you to Rhonda. Most of you know her from Northland Travel. Rhonda, you want to say a couple words to us?
Yeah, welcome everybody. Glad you could join us today, and hope you are looking forward to joining Merlia and Terry going to Poland next year. I will be that behind-the-scenes person that you call and talk to make your reservations and ask questions. So I'll let Merlia take it away, though, and tell you all about the tour.
Hey, I'm back. You know, those of you that know me know I talk all the time anyway, so it's kind of how we're going to do it here a little bit. With us also today is Kent Van Rokel. He is our sales rep from Mayflower Tours, and we are going to let him present a lot to you and tell you all about this trip and what all we're going to have to offer you. Go ahead, Kent.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much. My name is Kent Van Rokel. It's a little bit Dutch, come from that Sioux County Dutch. So if you've heard of Van Rokels, I'm not related, but I am from there. But we are delighted to be here. It's my March will be my 20th year in travel. I know I'm a rookie amongst the three of us, but my 20th year starts in March. And we've been a lot of places, but this is one of those that, folks, I think when you see these pictures, it's a wow destination. I think it supersedes everybody's expectations. So I hope you enjoy the pictures. We'll give you some detail, and then we'll open it up for questions at the end. As I mentioned to you before, if you kind of scroll across the screen, you'll see a Q&A section. You can type in a question there. There's a chat room. You can type in a question there, and we'll get those at the end of the meeting. So we're going to switch this over and share the screen so you can see a little PowerPoint presentation. My favorite slide right off the bat, Pride of Poland. Look at those two fearless leaders ready to take you to Poland. September 20 through 29th of 2021, coming up this coming fall, which we're excited about. We're all excited to travel. At this point, sometimes we don't care where we're going. Let's just go. Well, when you see what we have in store for you in Poland, I think you're going to see why we're so excited as well. A real quick history. Back in '86, the gentleman on the left side, Glenn Maroney, started the Scenic Tours. But right in the middle, you see the Mayflower. 2018, we were celebrating our 40th anniversary when Glenn bought us. And with that purchase, we now own 23 of these river ships. So it's been a great partnership. And we're right out of Lisle, or just South Chicago, Illinois. I live in Park Rapids, Minnesota. I'm looking out at 42 degrees today, and you guys are telling me it's 70 down in Des Moines. So I'm always jealous because I am an Iowa boy from Sioux County. We go all over the nation, or all over the world. We're delighted to be the partner on this trip. So thank you, Merlia and Rhonda, for choosing us. When we work with Northland, we always have the air complete, round trip air included. We're going to meet at the airport the night before and have a nice night to relax and meet people. And then we'll be flying up the following day. So we'll meet down in Des Moines on the 20th and actually fly on the 21st. So we've got the round trip transportation included. Once you're there, the baggage handling is all included. I'll make you pick up your own bag off the carousel, but then once it's to the group, we'll move them between hotels. You have a professional tour manager who will meet you at the airport. So even more than our fearless Merlia and Terry, we have a full-time professional guide with us as well as the local guides. Those local step-ons live there. They have special highlights that only local knows. We'll also be picking those up on the way as well. So you'll be in great hands. We like nice dining experiences, and we like nice hotels. This is one of our properties we'll be staying at in Warsaw. Very, I thought, real funky, but we have some beautiful properties for you on this great experience to Poland. So with that, put it all together, and I thought Marlia might like this shot. Marlia, you got to remind me though, where is this taken?
That's Iceland. That's our group out of, our Fort Dodge people out of Iceland showing the Fort Dodge paper in hand to get their picture in. That was last year.
And that's last year. So I was just looking, going, I think that, yeah, it looked like Iceland. Another wonderful trip, another destination. And I think sometimes Iceland 8 years ago, we didn't think a lot about going to Iceland.
Yeah.
And it kind of opened it up, and I think you agreed, Marlia. It was a surprise, wasn't it?
Fantastic.
And I think
Great trip.
Poland, you talk about Poland rising right now. You're exactly right. We're seeing more interest than ever. We put this great program, our product team put this program together, and I'm delighted it's chosen. So, there's another one of those traveling Schultzes here. And I know Terry is sitting behind there. He's probably got a smile on his face right now. He loves that picture. Remember where you were here?
It's Santa Maria, Ireland. Where we wintered, yeah. Where we wintered for years.
He's wearing the shirt.
Yeah, you gotta do that. That's our Hawaii trip in March. Got home just before they shut us down with our group there.
Can you guys kind of tell I've been trolling the Facebook all day? Anyway.
You must have been. You got some gems.
Well, I was going to throw Rhonda's on there. I didn't know she was going to be on. Sorry, Rhonda. Well, I'll get you next time.
Oh, no, that's okay.
This map is super simple. When you look at Poland, realize that is about half the size of Texas. So it's a pretty big country right there. I consider it Eastern Europe because it seems like Germany is kind of the center, but Eastern Europe. When you look at Poland itself, I have my cheat notes over here someplace, 34 million people. So it's a lot of people. Well, we're heading into the biggest 3 cities. Actually, I take it back. Dansk is 4. It's the Warsaw being number 1, 1.8 million people. Krakow, 780,000, and Dansk is the smallest one at 500,000 people. So we're going to cities, but if you look 2 nights up in Dansk, and then we're going up to the coast. There's some neat towns along there. I don't even know how to say them. So you know they're good cities when you can't say them. Motor coaching down to Warsaw after our stop in Melbourne. And then down to Częstochowa on our way down to Krakow, and our 3-night stay there. And I've never met a person that hasn't just been overwhelmed by the beauty of Krakow. If you've never heard this, and I think it's beyond a rumor, Hitler saved Krakow to be his world headquarters. When he was looking to dominate the world, his world headquarters was not going to be in Berlin. It was going to be in Krakow. So he never allowed a fight, a battle, a shot to be fired in Krakow. So most of the things you see are actually original, whereas all of you know when you go through Europe, so many things had to be rebuilt. So many things were leveled. And some of the beautiful properties, churches, castles, a lot of it had to be rebuilt. Whereas Krakow is one of those pristine, original cities. And with from the Krakow, we'll kind of spoke out to the Valeska salt mines and then to Auschwitz as well. So away we go. Start with Dansk, and if you remember the map, it's right on the Baltic Sea. So it's a beautiful. It's a port city. It's one of the first cities that people would come through when they were trading materials and products. They would always come through to Dansk. So our hotel is less than a block from the Motlawa River. So easy walking distance to come look at these beautiful boats. Look at the architecture in the back. I think this entire trip you're going to be impressed. And then I had to just kind of put the corner of the Mercure on here. We're at this beautiful modern hotel about a block from all that old vintage buildings. And then look at our gorgeous hotel we're at. So again, it's location. We're in central Old Town, but the architecture style definitely a newer look. But check this out. This is our view from the top of the hotel. So from the upper levels, you can see the river. You can see that block I'm talking about. But you can also see lots of trees and some easy walking when you have a little time in Dansk. On the right side, the hotel was all excited about showing off their foods. They have a wonderful restaurant. And then I had to put the breads in. Ladies, you've been to Europe? The breads?
Do you know that Poland invented the bagel, Ken?
No, I did not
Yeah,
know
it's
that.
on my facts. They invented the bagel.
I would have called it the Boleski then. How come it's just a bagel? Bageleski. There should be a ski on the end of it. I never knew that.
Yeah.
We learn every day, or we're done, right? So the city has lots of great landmarks, and when you have a port city like it was, and the entry into the major #1 port into the country, they had gates, and the entry gate. This one was built 1614, part of the walled city. Because back in those days, we had a lot of countries looking to dominate each other and accumulate land mass. And certainly this is one of those places. When we start talking about the Yasnagora and the Black Madonna, you won't believe the story of that, how that painting has made it through the test of time. But you can see one of the two beautiful entry gates built in 1614 right here. Have to admit, this is one that's been replaced because it was bombed. But you can see just a beautiful entry. Welcome to the city. They also have their Neptune fountain built back in the 17th century. And of course, the god of water, Neptune's there. And then we're going to go north, as I mentioned before. If you looked at a couple small towns of Sopat, the T is kind of silent, but it's in there. Sopat Pier, in the village of Sopat, we're going to be out to visit. And as you're reading through the itinerary, and hopefully you all have an itinerary in front of you, there's so many things I could go by one, but I know you can all read, and I know you can. I just want to get some pictures, give you a taste. Is already with the pictures you've seen, haven't you been a little bit surprised? The architecture, there's so many trees. It's colorful. This is as European as it gets. Our stop, the reason we're going, well, and actually it's a little bit south of town, is to go to one of the oldest castles. In fact, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is the Castle of the Teutonic Order. This little town just outside, southeast of Dansk in Melbourne. And it has the most square footage of any castle in Europe. So you think of all the castles, all the stories about that. Marlia, I know you're a fact gal. What'd you learn about the Teutonic, the castle?
Well, I'm still looking at the Teutonic Knights to figure it out, but I do know that Sopat has the longest pier in Europe, and it is also, because it's on the Baltic Sea, it is also their destination for swimming and sunning and summer vacations.
And we're
I'll work on the Teutonic Knights. That's still on my list.
I don't think I've ever stumped you before, so. But just the queen of facts right here, the queen of facts. We've got Marlia
Working on it.
to the rescue. So it's going to be 2 nights there. Then we're going to work our way down to the biggest city by far. Again, one of 1.8 million, and that of course is Warsaw. And Warsaw, once again, as I look at these pictures, just totally European. They've got the big city square. It's got monuments. It's got fountains. It's got vendors all the way around the outside. Great places for a cup of cappuccino and watching people. We've all had the European coffee, so we don't get excited about that. The little tiny cups and motor oil is about how it comes out. But a very neat city, and unique in its own way, city center. Just off the square is our Palace Hotel. So we're at the Palonia Palace Hotel, which I thought was, you can see by the pictures, again, the architecture style, amazing. A few of the rooms, they have a center open area, an atrium feel around the morning breakfast buffet and the greeting area. And then some of the rooms even have balconies, as you see in the bottom right side. So we have a lovely place, and also a lovely hotel, easy to walk to the things downtown. Our included stop is going to be at the Royal Castle. And you see the Royal Castle. I had to put all these dates in because they claim it was finished in 1598. But the army of, you won't believe this, the Swiss army came through in 1656 and put it to the ground. It was only 60 years old when the Swiss took over this area, and they leveled this building, so they rebuilt it. 1944, we know what happened. It was the Germans. they came and damaged this. And it was just completed now in 1984. But people are real surprised to know the families of the royalty lived here and governed here for over 400 years. So it was the royal house. So when you look at that royal house, the castle, the what's Elizabeth's, not Winchester. Where's Queen Elizabeth live? It's that Buckingham Palace. This is their Buckingham Palace, and you see the incredible artwork and the paint and the columns there. You see polished marble, beautiful. So we have the Royal Castle Tour included while we're in Warsaw, and a stop at the Luzinski Park. And another one that people just don't understand how gorgeous this area is. Full of fountains, full of monuments, memorials, the center house in the middle here, but now it's a city park that we're going to be have a nice walking tour. When we talk about walking, we are going to Europe. So people always say, is there a lot of walking? Well, number one, it's Europe. Number two, it's Poland. They don't have ocean like we do. So we talk about a lot of European destinations. I give them a 3 out of 5. 1, 2, or 3. 5 is the toughest. 1's the easiest. I put them 3 to 4. Well, in this one, we'll have some cobblestone streets, but the majority of these city centers are easy to navigate. We had to mention the Waleska salt mines, and we know there's steps there. We had to move it to a 4 because of some of the attractions. So just to be a realist, I always want to make sure people have an accurate assessment of where they plan to go. We're rating this as a 4 out of 5. It's no Egypt and it's no Israel, but we're going to give it a 3.5 or 4. And then on to, as I mentioned, one of the most spectacular cities in all of Europe period is Krakow. Again, only 500,000 people, so it's not a mega city by any means, but we found a beautiful property, the Vienna House, Andals, they call it. Notice they spelled Krakow wrong, or maybe we do. Anyway, Krakow, C-R, their C's have the hard K sound, so it says Krakow, but it sure looks softer to us, doesn't it? And this property, we're going to stay there. I thought Marlia might like this, or maybe Terry.
Hey. Yeah, as long as there's some wine in it. I was going to say, with your C in Krakow, it's probably because the Polish alphabet has 32 letters, and it's the hardest language to learn.
Is that over Mandarin Chinese?
That's,
I thought that was the worst.
Google and I are good friends.
Wikipedia and I donate to Wikipedia because I use them too much. So you can tell another nice property. Again, if you get a chance, and I always tell you about the properties, it's always this or likewise. But the key to our properties is usually if one doesn't work out. We're in 2021. The odds of us using the hotels listed are high, very high. So just plan on using them. So don't think we substitute very often. It's usually if something emergency happens that you would ever have to change. From here, one of our day trips is up to Czestochowa. Chester is the Jasnakor Monastery, known for being one of the top Catholic pilgrimages in the world. And that's because of the Black Madonna. And again, when we hear the story about this, and it seems I've read like 3-4 different things, including their own direct site, and the story kind of changes. But everyone goes back to this is possibly a painting by St. John, the Apostle St. John of Mary, Jesus' mother, and he painted it on a table that was actually built by Jesus the carpenter. So the painting has survived this entire time, and it went from here to there. Different rulers had it. It was a wedding gift from one party. And you can see now it's back to its home here in Czestochowa. And when you look at the beautiful sanctuary, you can see it's just got a perfect place.
I've been noting this stop especially on my Facebook page because I'm a big fan of the movie Monuments Men, And the Black Madonna was one of the paintings that was recovered
Sure.
after the war. So that's been one of my biggies I definitely want to see.
Yeah. And if you look, you'll even see different renditions of the painting. So I'm curious to see what you're actually going to see. Another site it looked like a snapshot, no photo photography there, or no no, you can't use camera. And the other one it's overlaid. So it's this picture you're seeing here on the right side of your screen, and it's overlaid with all these shining metal. And all you see is the faces of Jesus and Mary with like costumes over the painting. You just don't see a lot of that. So I'm anxious to see what you're going to see, if they change it by season or what. But imagine a painting from the days of Jesus. So again, I'm with Marlene on this one. I'm very excited to get your taste of that. Once again, great little old towns, the city center. This is where they have their festivals and flower markets and royal weddings and commencements. So our property, again, just blocks away from this. You see the little coffee shops, you see the stores, and we're here for 3 nights. So I think it's going to be a nice, peaceful, pedestrian-only area that you're really going to enjoy with the hotels on this program. We're going to visit the Wallow Castle. The Wallow Castle, I'm looking at, another castle, yeah, sure, whatever. But this one kind of hosts something unique, and it's the Sigismund bell. And you look at a bell as, okay, so I had to compare it to what else? The Liberty Bell. Have y'all seen the Liberty Bell? And this one is also 7 foot, 7 foot 6 inches wide.
Largest bell in Europe.
5 high. Exactly, the biggest bell. And my favorite part of the story is the clapper. The clapper had to be replaced. It finally wore out. The clapper, the original clapper, and we're talking about a bell that's right now 479 years old, this bell. The clapper worked through 1999 when it finally developed this 4th crack. They had to take it out of use. It rang 12 million strikes, 479 years, and the clapper is 710 pounds. So the old clapper's still there, of course. They replaced it, put the new one in, and that's the one that still rings today. But you're talking about a bell that is an F sharp. For you with perfect pitch, you musicians, it's an F sharp. Again, I'm with you. Some useless facts are pretty cool, but folks, where can you see these things unless you travel? So again, part of this great tour. Now we have a real treat for you. I think a lot of you have heard about these salt mines. It was pretty simple. It was they mined salt. Salt was a lot like money, very valuable. But when they were under persecution, a lot of the fathers, a lot of anybody in the Lord's work, they hid out from persecution, and they started carving into the salt. And look at what you're seeing is pretty much all salt sculptures. I think except the chandelier is what they told me on this picture. These monks had time. They had perseverance. The next generation would continue the next carving. Imagine taking the bulk of the salt out, as I said, for monetary purposes, and then sculpting the rest of it. So again, looks very unique and different. Any great stats about that, Marlena? I know you're looking for. You mentioned it yourself.
Well, I was just a couple things. We've had a couple questions on this also. We do walk as we go down there, 450 steps, I believe it is. There are 2 breaks and 2 places for coffee on the way down and restroom stops. And everybody comes back up by lift. We don't have to walk back up those steps. Oh. So definitely have your tennis shoes on and your walking shoes when we go down. But it's downward all the way, and I don't do heights, but from the pictures I've seen, they're nice wide steps and an easy take a step down as you go with the group. But the 22 chambers. Plus there is a full pond, a full lighted pool. down in there, water also that's pictured.
I'm gonna say it. Don't think it's a bunch of steps. It's 22 chambers.
Yeah.
So imagine rooms like this or such, with all these incredible carvings. So.
And there will be a guide taking us through.
No doubt, this will be a true treat that I don't think you'll ever forget. I don't think you'll ever forget it. So now we're heading to just outside of town, little town of Kasimierz, which is the home of the Auschwitz-Birkenau concentration camp. I don't know if there's enough a person could say about this tragic area, except that it's a memory. It's part of world history, and Hitler called it the final solution. That was his title for 40 different concentration camps around the whole Germany, Poland, Austria area. And this camp was, of course, the most notorious. This was the largest. This was had the most loss of life. Well over 1 million people never left here. As you walked in, went through the gate above your head said "Work sets you free." So pretty much an understanding exactly what they were expecting when you went in the gate. And a lot of people went in with the thought that, oh, hard work is going to get me out of here. So. But it was just simply for the condemnation of the Jews. Hitler didn't see them as a viable race, thought he could get rid of the world. And again, the final solution was his title his excuse to build concentration camps. So I think it's going to be a poignant stop. I think it's going to be something that they have a little video. They have some footage for you. I've been impressed. People tell me they do a great job. It's going to pull on the heartstrings for a lot of people.
It's about 4 hours there from what I'm seeing, and they're supposed to have a spectacular museum that we'll be visiting also with it. So you're one of those places that a lot of people don't want to see, but it's one of those things I think we need to see just so that we remember that it doesn't happen again. And it's also a UNESCO World Heritage Site, which we are seeing a great number of those on this tour.
And I think another surprise to people when they talk about Poland, the history is just that incredible. So we do go back to the Jewish district. We do have dinner included this night, but we're going to go back to the Jewish district, and you'll see a synagogue. You'll see the Jewish district, and these are false storefronts now. But these were all the Jewish shops. They just had rows and rows and blocks upon blocks of them, and they still have the faces is all that's left of them. But we're going to go to the Jewish synagogue ourselves. See the synagogue on the right side inside. It's not so fancy as much as it's another place of remembrance. And we're going to have that before our farewell dinner. And then our 10 days are up. Bless you. And
that district was also where Schindler's List was filmed.
It was, correct. That's where it was filmed. So as you can see, we're going September 20. It's $33.74 per person. We think we have an incredible value. As you look below, it includes that pre-night in Des Moines. We're gonna get together in Des Moines, nice evening together, get to know each other a little bit, fly the next day. We've got the round trip air, the baggage handling, the professional tour managers, 11 meals, and then how do you put a price on hosted by Merle and Terry? So I know if you've ever traveled with them before, that kind of puts a smile on your face, but you also know you're in great hands.
Oh, it's 20. Yeah, Kent, that's 2021 instead of 2022.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Thanks, Marlena.
I know we've had to roll a lot of things over from last year, but my fingers crossed.
No,
fingers crossed.
We ain't doing that no more. Couple special deals. Number one, I know a lot of you have said, well, wait a minute, it's too inexpensive for a 10-day trip to Europe. My product team put this together. It's with free air through December 31st. And with free air, the price you see at $33 includes round trip in. So we think it's, again, an exceptional value. Now, Mayflower has a little program running because we appreciate people being patient, wanting to travel. And they said, you know what? Let's give anybody who attends the presentations, let's give them an extra $100 to the end of the year. So we have the free air going, add in $100 free savings. Wow, it's a great deal. And then Malia warns me, she goes, well, wait a minute, we're giving out 75 as well through January 20. Folks, do the math here. That's another $175, $21.99 for 9 days, 10 days in Europe, 9 days in Europe, 10-day tour. So we just believe that this is one of the best deals of the day. It's the deal of the day by far. And $800 is your deposit. That saves your space. As everything goes, we have coaches, room for 44 people. When I looked before we started Merlia, I had 8 names in on this date. So we have plenty of space. We're in good, space needs. I know you've got some people, with names and deposits in. It's $800 per person, or $1,099 with the travel protection. Now, we always highly recommend the travel protection, and it's best to give it at the time of deposit because then it will include your pre-existing medical conditions. We know that's a big deal. Final payment's going to be about 90 days before you fly. We'll let Ron and the gals take care of that, but figure about June when the final payment's going to be due. Traveler's protection is $299, as you figured out in the math on that last slide. It does protect you before the trip and on the trip. Before the trip, it's a cancel for any reason. You get all your money back, cash back, except the $299. So it should give you some peace of mind that your majority of your investment is protected for only $299. On the trip, it's your health insurance. Don't forget, Medicare doesn't go over the pond, so it's your health insurance. It's baggage delay. It's trip interruption. It's the new enhanced. We use the TripMate product, which I'm sure you gals are familiar with. TripMate, great product. It's a Midwest company, and they just enhanced it to cover trip interruption up to 14 days if you got stuck someplace, sprained an ankle, you couldn't travel the group. We now have up to 14 days at $200 per day reimbursement for your lodging and your food. And it's included. We didn't raise the premium to add a cost. It's included. Again, wanted to give everybody peace of mind. As is, ladies, I didn't tell you this. They told us at a sales meeting here the past weekend. I haven't got to you. I apologize. But anyone who signs up on a 2021 tour from November, anytime you sign up now, through January 31st. At January 31st, you have the right to cancel with no penalty at all. It's a no-risk deposit of your travel protection and your deposit. You could change your mind by January 3rd. Things aren't going the way I want them to. My health has changed. Situations changed. I just won't be able to go. If you cancel by January 31st, 100% refund, no questions asked. Maria, I'm sorry I didn't tell you about that, Ron.
That's right.
But
I'll watch the email.
How cool is that, though?
Is that except the travel insurance amount, though?
No, I'm giving 100%.
Oh, you're giving that back too?
Everything, because we know all of you want to go, but what's holding you back? Well, I don't want to lose the insurance. I don't want to lose part of my investment. So we're taking that out of the equation. 100% refund if it just doesn't look like you can make the trip in 21 and you have to change your mind by January 31st. You get 100% refund back, no questions asked.
Awesome.
Fair?
Yeah, it's very fair.
Again, folks, we want you to go. You know that. We want you to go. And the last thing we want to do is keep anybody's investment. Nobody likes that. I don't like that. So with that, I can say, hey, I hope you plan to join us. As you know, group travel, it's the way to go. It's the way to go. We have such great relationships. We enhance the ones we have. We build new ones. And there's always safety in numbers. So when I go to these incredible areas, I like being able to, hey, did you see that? Oh, did you see that? We're comparing pictures at night. So excited to have you aboard. Thanks for watching. I'm going to turn it over to the ladies as we going to drop the share screen here in a second. And see if we have any questions. Ladies, what do you think?
Great. We're excited about it. When you and I first talked about this, a year or so ago, I started looking into it. And as most of you know, Terry and I kind of like the out of the way places, the little different places, something that's going to be a little bit more unique, which is one of my favorite words. For those of you that have traveled before, and something that's going to be real exciting for those of you that have not traveled. I had somebody ask me the other day, well, I'm not Polish, why should I go to Poland? Yeah. And it's like, wait a minute,
You're not Irish. You're not Irish either.
Yeah, but there are so many things when you start looking into the destination. I mean, we're going to see the Baltic Sea if you mark things off your bucket list. But the fact that we're 13th, 14th, 15th century buildings that are still beautiful, they're still open. The salt mine itself, is something that we're not going to see anyplace else in the world. Just a lot of different places, a lot of different things on it, that are so different, so unique to a country that it's fun to go someplace that people don't think to go.
Right.
It's a little bit like when we went to Cuba last year or 2 years ago and got home just before they shut it down. Now they're not going to shut Poland down. I don't think so. So we're pretty good on that one. With it. We have had a question, Kid, if you saw it. Yep. When we go into the old district from where they did Schindler's List, you said we're going into the temple. Do you know anything about the museum there? I apologize, I don't.
And I'm going to be with you on this. I agree. The question we have is, are you visiting to the Schindler Museum? And it's not on the itinerary. So I'm going to say it's not in there. If it was, it would certainly be listed. So my question is, will we have enough free time to do that? So let me ask my product manager on that.
Yeah, I think when we talked earlier, I think you said he'd been over there and looked at it. He was able to answer us a few things. So Steve, hopefully we'll get back with you on that. Yeah. Veronica can let you know kind of what we're finding out.
And then we'll find out, of course, if we have time, make sure we have time for people that want to do it, that could do it. So fair enough. Hope that's good.
Works.
And then I think our other questions were on airfare, and that might be two different directions. One, yes, hard to believe, but the air in that price.
Now remember, that's only until the end of December.
Correct.
After that, we're going to have to do some figuring. So that's the biggest thing is these offers are there. We've just not seen offers like this before, and we really, to take advantage of them is going to be phenomenal.
With that said, somebody says, "Hey, I've got a whole bunch of frequent flyer miles. Can I do my own air?" Absolutely. During the promotion through December 31st, if you want to do your own air, okay, take $800 off the price and you can do your own air. Now remember, you won't probably be flying with us because we'll get.
You're not going to find air for that right now.
But you're not going to find air anyway, so you won't. But I did want to let that know. Number two, if you'd like an upgrade, I want business class, I want first class, I want comfort plus, I want whatever. Yes, you can request it. Just takes us a little bit to turn it around, get our air department, get the price, then we'll get your credit card. If it's something you want to do, we'll take it. If you have a request like that, I jot them right on top or on the reservation form. I'm sure you got maybe, I don't know if you have a specific space for it, but I know people always ask me, "Hey, can we upgrade to Comfort Plus?" If it's available, we'd sure like to make it available. We must make the flights as comfortable as we can. So any requests like that, give them to the gals. And lastly, the other question is, what will the insurance cost? And you just heard it was $299. And I'll be upfront, that is what you risk. So if you cancel and the doctor says you can't fly, you'll lose $299. So that would be the investment you would risk. Okay. Any other questions?
I'm not seeing anything quite yet. I think we'll probably, maybe have a couple more coming in on it. That insurance, you've heard us say over and over again, absolutely, you need travel insurance. I won't tell you that we're not going to let you go if you won't take it, but we did have an occasion on our last group to have to use it. It was something we didn't like to do, but it worked out very beautifully. All the help, Rhonda got right on it, and the help with everything too on the insurance, and it went through slick, and something was averted that it was major, but something was averted that could have been much worse without that travel insurance. So nobody wants to lose their hard-earned money, And that's the best thing you could do is your travel insurance. Same thing is with your passports. As I always tell you, passports must be valid at least 6 months from the time you return. Not from when you're going, from the time you return, those passports have to be valid at least 6 months on it. So we've got, a couple of the major points that you always hear me talking about. Let me give you a couple fun things before we do a couple more, because I like my little trivia.
And by the way, have you seen the money exchange? Right now, it's $1 to 3.4 of their dollar, 3.6 of their money.
Okay, I didn't look it up today.
Almost a 1 to 4. I don't know about you guys. I love when it's in our favor.
Yeah, and it's right. It's supposed to be pretty good as far as getting things, picking up souvenirs, and you can't see it, but like I said, I'm a souvenir person. I've got my Budapest shirt on today, so. I said I'm a souvenir person with a lot of those things to bring back, as you can tell by the walls behind me.
I was admiring your walls behind you, exactly.
From a couple things. We talked about where Poland's located, like I said, on the Baltic Sea. So if you've been in the Med, now you're going to get a chance to see the Baltic and do it. It is also absolutely the center of Europe. It is not Western Europe, if you're looking up for information on Europe, and it's not Eastern Europe because of the old Russian influence. It's absolutely considered the very center of Europe with it, which I thought was interesting. Steve popped on quick and told us that we talked about the Polish alphabet. They said the W is pronounced as a V, which I've been struggling with how to pronounce a lot of those towns and things too, so it's interesting. A lot of us that have been to Alaska always think of picking up amber there, but Poland is the largest exporter of amber when you're there. So if you didn't happen to pick up an amber necklace when you were in Alaska, probably a good chance to pick it up in Poland or take a look at it. And in addition to the bagel, for some kind of interesting things, they are also credited for inventing the Commodore 64. Remember those old babies when we started out on computers? The kerosene lamp, the bulletproof vest, and the walkie-talkie. So, like I said, a country that nobody thinks much about, or when you think about, I'm going to go to Europe, or I'm going to go to Eastern Europe, which has just been opening up for us the last few years, for a country that you don't think too much about, a lot of things coming out of it. So it's going to be extremely interesting for us. Extremely interesting. Good trip. We certainly are going to hope that you join us, and we certainly hope that you take advantage of all those specials. Give yourself an extra Christmas gift, or instead of that big turkey for Thanksgiving, give yourself a trip to Poland.
Outstanding. From Kent Van Roekel from Mayflower, thanks for choosing us. For you that are watching, seriously appreciate this opportunity. Really would love to have you on board. Best wishes and stay well.
Thanks, Ken.
Thank you.
All right, so I stopped the recording now. So we're all good. I'll end it.